Hi, look, that's you.
Oh,
I like it. All right. So where are you from?
originally from Portland, Oregon.
Really?
Yes, and moved here, I'd say, 5 years ago now.
Do you know of a place in Oregon called Drain, Oregon?
Rain?
Drain.
Ooh,
It's probably raining
no.
there right now.
Probably. It sounds like it would be. I mean,
my
with a
little
name like Drain,
my
so.
little brother grew up there. I guess it's near
Abe?
Portland. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. He
Hmm.
Okay.
he grew up in Drain,
Definitely one of
Oregon.
those little small
Yeah,
rural type of
yeah,
communities. Gotta
yeah.
be. No, I know the outskirts, the suburbs like Beaverton, Tigard,
Mm-hmm.
Medford, which is not exactly close to Portland, but
How about Lincoln City, Chinook Winds
yes,
Casino?
absolutely. I did my first
Really?
show there.
Wait, your first show? Oh,
Yeah. My very first competition, I
got
should
it.
say. Yeah. Bodybuilding
How did you
competition.
do?
It was not what I expected,
Okay.
but I did okay for my first show.
Those are weird though, right? Because they're very political, also, right? Or no?
I
No?
mean, I wouldn't be surprised if there were some politics in there,
Right.
but I mean, who's to say? Different shows, different promoters, different
Right.
judges. Everyone's it's one of those sports where it's subjective. You have a certain judging panel, they like a certain look. That's how it is. It's the nature of the game. So, kind of have
So
thick skin.
I got my experience. Did a tour of duty in Salt Lake City,
Oh, nice. Okay.
and I got my experience with the bikini bodybuilding world there, and
Uh-huh.
their politics were based out of the coaches that the girls train with. So if you got the right
Ah,
coach,
uh-huh.
you were kind of like almost like a notch above the other girls that maybe not even had a
Mhm.
coach.
Yeah.
Did you ever find any of that at all?
I'd be lying if I said no. This is not like factual based knowledge. This is just my own kind of like
Mm,
feeling for it. So when I first started, I had no idea what I was doing. I was like, oh, I'm just gonna go for it. I mean, this is interesting. Let's see how far I can take it. I didn't have a coach. I couldn't afford a coach.
right.
I did my own personal training. I did my own nutrition. It was very like, we'll just see how this goes. First show, ooh, interesting. I had no idea what the bodybuilding world was about. I just thought I needed to look really skinny and
Right.
good in a bikini. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go out there. I'm gonna be all look at me on stage, and totally didn't go my way. I got maybe second call out, maybe got like seventh or eighth place, something like that. And I decided, okay, I'll come back and give it a shot. So I did very well my first year amateur. I got first place in every show I entered. I got an overall in one, and then I ended up getting added to a first call out in my very first national show that same year. The second national show I did, I ended up earning my pro card. So I did not have a coach per se in that. I
That
was
whole
on a
run?
huh?
That whole run, you
That
didn't have a
whole run,
coach?
I did it by
Wow.
myself.
Wow.
I was on a team
Right.
to an extent. Group of people met together. We all posed together. It was a community,
Right.
really, at the end of the day. And I guess that, in a sense, could kind of be like a coach. But as far as diet, nutrition, and them telling me, hey, you need to be in front of this judging panel. Hey, you need to be in front of that judging panel. You need to do this show or that show. Not quite the experience I had. Hindsight, if I would have probably been with a coach from the beginning, I probably could have been directed and learned a lot more, a lot faster, and got a lot further in a
Mm.
shorter period of time. I will say that. So, yeah, you got to look at it's experience based. These
Right.
coaches
Right.
have experience. They know the judges. They know what the judges are looking for. They know what judges have specific ideas for specific,
Body parts.
body parts. Like some judges like a really lean bikini athlete. They just like high glutes. They like those shoulders to pop. There's obviously the general mold that they're looking for.
Right.
But then, some just have preferences, just like the whole like, do I like blondes or brunettes kind of
Right.
situation that we
Right.
used to come across. So,
Right.
having coaches that know their stuff and have, a good connection with other people in that whole world definitely can be beneficial. You also want to pick your coach based off of what works for you as an individual. You should never make sacrifices that you're not willing to make at the end of the day. Because some have a philosophy of how they get you ready for a show that might not line up with what your overall priorities are. You're going to have to make sacrifices, just what's going to happen at the end of the day. So, are you willing to sacrifice family time? to prep? Because that's going to happen. Are you willing to sacrifice holidays and not having that Thanksgiving meal and, Christmas and New Year's celebration to prep for a show? So it comes down to, the individual, really, and
Right.
whether that coach's approach falls in line with the individual.
So let's back up, John.
Yeah.
This is a special show for
Yeah.
Action Junkies. What we're promoting on this particular segment is Fitness Junkies.
Like a pilot episode, if
It's
you
a
will.
pilot
A
episode.
pilot episode.
I will be sitting in your seat.
Yes, finally. Take it.
24 hours?
No.
We should have put you in this seat now.
No, it's not that hard. We could move, but
Me so sleepy.
you might be asleep.
I need a nap. Oh, it looks good up there. I like that. Okay. I like it. I see fitness.
So, what is like your big picture idea with bringing on another Junkies show? What are you doing with this whole?
So I mean, obviously, we've been doing Action Junkies for 3 years. This is the 100th episode, and for some silly reason, I thought, let's do 24 hours live. I don't really know what made me suggest that. Seriously regretting it right now. In the
Lots of
what
coffee.
hour are
20th.
we?
We're moving to the 20th.
hour.
I should have brought you like a bang or some coffee or.
I've
It
had.
looks like you got one kind of working on
I've
there.
had. I don't even drink coffee, and I think that's my 5th.
Ooh, yeah.
I've had
Well,
3 5-hour energies and this Limitless pill. I don't know what you know about this. Do you remember that movie Limitless with Bradley Cooper? No?
I do, yeah.
That magical pill that made you smart,
Yeah,
remember? So that's that
yeah.
pill.
Huh.
Yeah, it didn't work.
Didn't
I'm
work
still
like
as
that.
dumb as I was when I walked in here.
False advertising.
No, it actually helped me, but I think I'm too far gone. But yeah. So anyway, we've done Action Junkies for 3 years.
Mhm.
We've got Vegas Junkies, which is another show we do over at the Tropicana.
Oh, fun.
And then the goal was to build out the Junkies brand. So
Yeah.
Fitness Junkies happening shortly.
Awesome.
Political Junkies coming. Sports Junkies, Car Junkies, Movie Junkies, Tech Junkies. Basically everything Junkies. Golf Junkies.
There's
that's the big
definitely
picture
a niche
for
for all of
the
it, yeah.
And so my idea with the Junkies, the Fitness Junkies, is to kind of break down all the confusion
Mhm.
with health and fitness.
Yeah.
As specifically all the myths, because so many people, as you know, and it sounds like you had to learn a lot of things the hard way,
Oh, yeah.
are trying to figure out how to do this, what things I should do, I shouldn't do.
Right.
Normally what I'll do is I'll have an expert, like for instance, if we were talking about hormones or something, or
Yeah.
hormone replacements, I bring on an expert to talk about their expertise in that. And then the other part of it would be a lovely lady like
Yeah.
yourself, almost kind of in a co-hosting kind of role.
Yeah.
So this is kind of actually the first time we've had someone on like you. His girlfriend could be a bikini competitor.
She did at one point.
Did she do?
Yeah.
I
Give it a
thought
go.
She did
Yeah.
the not bikini. I thought she did the.
Yeah, you're right.
What's the level above
Figure,
figure? Right.
maybe?
Right.
Maybe.
Right.
There's fitness too, but
A
the
little more
handstands, cartwheels,
muscular.
all that, yeah.
Right. But anyway, long story short is I kind of want to get your feeling, and you kind of spoke to it already a little bit,
Mhm.
kind of like what your perspective is, because I know the emotional roller coaster that winning and losing when
Oh,
it's all
yeah.
about your body and all about your looks,
Yes.
how that can affect you if you're not careful.
Oh, yeah.
in that
It's,
space.
I would say a majority of it is mentality. It can either build you up and make you stronger, it can break you down. And personally, I think it kind of starts with your why. Why did you want to do a show? Why are you getting into it? If you're doing it because of validation, it's going to give you validation that you are a beautiful girl, that you are, worthy of a first place or whatever it may be. As soon as you're kind of setting yourself up for failure if that's really what it's about for you, because it's you're basically putting your value on that end result. And if you don't get that end result, then you feel defeated. You feel like, oh, I suck. I didn't do well. Like, oh, my body isn't good enough. I need bigger glutes. I need bigger shoulders. I need a bigger rack or tinier waist or whatever it
Yeah,
is.
for the bigger rack.
Yeah, that kind of rack. Whatever it is, you pick yourself. You're already picking yourself apart.
Right.
Just putting yourself in that situation. You're under a microscope. You're being judged for superficial things. End of the day, it's not your mind, it's not the numbers on the scale, it's not how fast you run or how long you ran. It's superficial. So if that's kind of what you're entering it for, to give that sort of validation, you're already setting yourself up for kind of that mental breakdown in the long run. Could be long run, could be short run. I know there's a lot of girls who do really well right out the gate, like my amateur year. First place. Obviously, the first one was a learning one for me, but I also said, hey, I didn't know what I was doing. I jumped to a show a week before the show. I really had no idea what I was doing. So I gave myself that little learning curve kind of thing, and then I excelled very quickly, very fast. Once I hit the pro circuit, whole new ball game. I didn't know what I was doing. I just knew I was trying to get out there, just kind of learn as I go. The first 4 years of my pro career, still self-coached, still just doing as many shows as I could, trying to improve after every show. So I would set goals for myself. I just wanted to see how far I could take it, though. That was my personal goal. Obviously, I wanted to get to the Olympia. But my first goal was, I just want to do well at a pro show. I just want to maybe get first call out kind of thing. And then it progressed from there. And, I did get to go to the Olympia twice on points, before they really made it off that point system, because there was a year that it was all on points for everyone, and all the bikini athletes killed themselves trying to earn points, going show after show after show.
Did you get to the finals?
For last year?
Olympia.
I did. I made it to the Olympia in 2000, and there were 2 years. Was it 15 and 16? I think it was 2015 was my first year. I finally got enough points, broke into, that first call out, made it second place, third place, a couple random, never got first, but I did earn enough points to go to the Olympia in 2015 and again in 2016. Not last year, I should say it was 2018, when they took it where everyone had to go off of points. I missed it by 1 point.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I was I didn't attend one show, and that's what.
Really?
Mm-hmm. And that was the one that could have made sure I for sure went to the Olympia, but I thought I was safe. And
right.
I was like, no, I don't want to kill myself. I want to kill my body going through this prep for another, how many months. And I want to look good at the Olympia. I don't just want to be there. I want to do well there. Right. That was my next goal. I'd already been there twice. So
remember when we went to this?
Yeah.
Did we go in? Did we see the Bikini Show?
Yeah. It was nothing like I thought. Well, because it was in it was at Mandalay Bay. And it was in that event center, massive, for 20,000 people, but only, I'm probably wrong on the number, but I literally want to say 300 to 500 people go. Well, in a 20,000 seat venue, it was
back then.
It was back then.
Yeah,
but it was mismatch. It didn't.
It was this venue. It
was in the wrong room. I don't know why they put it in there. They should just put it in a ballroom.
But I remember when
energy. You know what I mean? There was no energy in it, because it was
kind of.
It was like an echo chamber. It was too. Yeah.
I remember when I went. I think it was 2017, and I went to the bikini finals, and I couldn't tell the difference between any of the girls. They were all flawless.
Oh yeah.
I'm
oh gosh.
How do you stand out?
The judges have such a hard job.
Yeah.
They really do. And I think part of it comes down to them seeing these people on a regular basis, knowing where they started, knowing what improvements they've made, how they've made those improvements. And then also I think it comes down to they have this ideal in their head, and who's the closest to that ideal, and then who lines up after that. So Miss Olympia right now, I always say her name wrong. It's Issa, or I say
get it right. No, I'm kidding.
Try. But I love her physique. She has an amazing physique. She's got nice full muscles.
Yeah, she's muscular.
She's can get pretty lean, but you know, she actually fills out very well. She's got great symmetry from top to bottom. She's a very beautiful girl in the face. She presents herself well. And really it comes down to just that total package and like dissecting each girl like
Yeah.
apart. Literally, like it's hard. I know Sandy has a hard time making those decisions, and so do all the other judges. They just sit there and they're like, well, her tie-in is better than this. And you know, there was a show I did here in Las Vegas. It was Battle of the Desert a couple years ago, and I was up against Ashley Kaltwalter for first place. And when it came, I guess prejudging, I had it. Then when it came finals, she just looked better at finals, so she ended up taking it. So, you know, it plays a role, like how long can you maintain the physique over, you know, night show, day show. If it's a 2-day show, can you maintain it for 2 days? And it's, you never
Right.
know. There's so many things that play into it. And it comes down to, you know, all right, what are they looking for? Who fits it? And then it goes from there.
I think it's for women, it's so hard. I'm a trainer as well.
Yeah.
And with their cycle and their hormones and their emotions,
Yes.
it's like getting a girl to, I think you guys call it the package, the full
The
package
total package.
that you want to
yeah.
get. It's like the timing has to be perfect.
Yes. And
So-
it's so hard.
Yeah.
It really is. I mean, me as the athlete always came in way too lean, and I needed to fill out. And I don't know, there's something about me, like, I guess my anxiety just kicks in once the show gets there. I literally just drop like that as soon as it's like a day before hitting stage. It's like, okay, we need to make sure you don't get too flat on me. Like, you got to eat, but we don't want you to spill over. But, you know, we don't want you to be too flat. And
Right.
it's tricky. It's really tricky. And everybody's so different with how they
get
need to
there.
dial it in.
Yeah.
There's no cookie cutter way. I mean, you
Yeah.
have general guidelines. Yeah, you eat clean. Eat every 2 to 3
Right.
hours. You don't have sugar. You know, make sure you do your training. But all the little intricate, whether you know, deplete water, you keep water in, if you carb load in the front or carb load in the back, or you just don't carb load and keep everything normal, like everyone is very different with just
Right.
how their body processes things.
Right.
Even just trying to get them somewhat there, everyone's
Right.
different. So
Right.
it's definitely, I think for the right person, it's fun because they like figuring people out. They like to see how to manipulate the numbers and get them to where they need to be. But when so much is at stake, especially, I mean, no matter what, even though my main goal was, how far can I take this? I still wanted to win. I mean, that's why I kept doing
Sure,
it. I wanted
sure.
to win. I want to get at first place. I want to earn that. But,
Right.
you know, and I had to step away for a while. And that's, you know, I haven't competed in over a year now. I had to step away. It was one of those,
Because you were like burned out, or
no, just I think more mentally. Physically, I could have done it. I mean, I love competing. I think I was addicted to it, to be fair. Like, it was just one of those, you know, I love pushing myself. I love challenging myself. What's next? What's next? I hit a goal, time to set a new one. I hit a goal. Okay, what's the next one? But understanding where your efforts are best placed. You know, I mean, the shows are great, but they are a drain on your bank account. And unless you have the right sponsors and the right way of doing it and picking the right shows, you know, you're not making money off of it unless
Right.
you're, you know, promoting products and brands and that sort of thing. It's more, for me, it was more financially taxing. It was a passion project, I guess you could say. I was
Yeah.
a passion project for myself.
Right.
So it becomes very like, okay, realistically, I've got kids. I gotta be able to help support my family. And, you know, I've had my run. It's time to bring it back down to reality. Be there for my kids, set an example for them, let them know, hey, it's good to have goals. It's good to have passions. You have to work hard at it. If you really want it, there's a way to make it happen. But then there's also time you got to step back
Yeah.
and understand, okay, time to bring it back to reality. The stage isn't going anywhere. I can always come back to it if I really have a desire to jump back in. So right now it's just me and bringing it back to reality, and that's been a struggle.
So So talk about that a little bit more, the balance of, because you did like probably what, 20, 30 shows between you
Oh
started
gosh,
and your break?
well over. Yeah, I
That's like where, like, if you have a man and kids, like, Mom, can we go
Oh
to the ice cream? No.
yeah, no. See, well, so here's where it was like a little tricky. My first 4 years when I was self-coached, it was very much lifestyle. It was very clean on the weekdays. On the weekends, I would have my cheat meals. So there'd be like date nights. I'd take my kids to the movie. We'd have froyo afterwards. That was our thing. We just did that. And then as I got closer to show, obviously those things were cut. It's like, all right, okay, guys, they understood. I'd still take them. I
Right.
just don't indulge in that.
Like a 12-week period? Would you do?
Yeah, I would. Well, I would say it depends how how
Where
far
you were?
off. Yeah, I
Right,
was. So
right.
if I was pretty close, then 2 to 3 weeks.
Oh, wow.
If I was too far out, then I would maybe do like 6. 12 weeks would be a lot for me back then because I always kept it pretty tight.
Mm.
I kept within 5 pounds of stage weight.
Oh, wow.
So that was just how I would do things. Over time, though, things changed. I was I got addicted to pushing heavy weights. That was very like, I could go heavier. And that necessarily wasn't the goal for bikini physique. I built up my quads way too much. So after 2016 Olympia, I had to figure out how to change that. And that's why I ended up getting a coach. I wanted someone who knows what shows I should do and what I need to do to help me modify my physique to kind of fit that mold a little bit. So it's a lot like, sculpting,
Yeah.
figuring out, how you want this work of art to look now. So
Work of art. I like that.
yeah, so I am my own piece of art. So, so that for me, was an extreme at that point because it was a very rigid diet. I had to do lots of cardio to whittle my quads down. I also lost a lot of the glutes that I built because of it. And then I ended up going with a different coach in the end because that first fit just didn't fit. It wasn't a good fit for me. I wasn't really feeling the diet. Wasn't really feeling that extreme rigid, this is what you got to do. There was junk loading. And to me, it's like, I don't want to eat. I don't want to enjoy. I want to enjoy the junk if I'm going to have it. And it wasn't an enjoyment. When you finish a show, you're like, oh, let's go have a cheat meal. I was like, I want a salad. I don't want a cheat meal. I just had Reese's and gummy bears and I don't want that. So moved coaches, definitely changed my physique again. But still was I think my body had adapted to the cardio so much that I had to have so much cardio in order to maintain the physique that I needed.
Like, what are we talking about?
So it started off pretty small, like, okay, 30 minutes of cardio every morning, or after your workout, whenever you wanted to do, really. It didn't have to be fasted. I always preferred it fasted because I think I wasn't awake and my brain didn't know what was going on. So I was just like, all right, we're doing it, I'm getting it done.
Right.
But over time, as you get closer to show, it's okay, now we take a little bit away from the diet and we add a little bit more. So it's the basic science of, what you expend versus what you intake has to be higher in order to draw it in. Not super rocket science or anything. So, the cardio went up. And then as I did more shows over the year, it was one of those, I had to keep the cardio up. I had to keep doing the cardio. So once I stopped doing the shows, and after that year I didn't make Olympia, I was getting married at the end of the year. So I had measured myself for my wedding dress and it was like bodybuilding physique measurements. So I had to maintain it until my wedding to finish in my dress.
Right.
So it was one of those, oh my gosh, I have to continue on with this. After that happened, I was like, all right, I'm done with cardio. I'm just going to go back to rebuilding. And then I just struggled with my weight at that point because my body had become so dependent on it. So, and mentally that messed with me too. So for a while, trying to switch back to, okay, I need to do weights. I just kept going. I just found myself going back to cardio. People like to do what's comfortable. They like to do what's easy. And that just seemed like comfortable and easy. And that's what I was doing and it worked. And so I'm going to go back to doing it. And I think that's why a lot of women like to do it as well. in addition to the fact that you get more of that like heart pump when you're doing cardio versus lifting, it's a little harder. You got to push some weight to really get that I worked hard feeling. So trying to switch gears was really hard. And it's literally taken me over a year to finally allow myself to bring my calories back up and to focus more on the weights than the cardio. I actually do enjoy cardio. Part of my job right now is, a HIIT style of training. So I will do Orange Theory. I work at Orange. I'm a coach at Orange Theory.
Which one?
Mountain's Edge.
Okay.
So off of Blue Diamond. So for me, it's a great challenge for myself, and I fold it into my workout, but it also helps me rein in the cardio so that I'm not feeling like first thing in the morning I got to go into the garage, jump on my treadmill or whatever and do my cardio. I now just schedule that class. That class is my cardio, and then I'll do my weights on my weights day so that I know I'm not overly trying to do it. And it's helped a lot. And I think it's just finding a good schedule, a good balance, and a good consistency. So
let's go back to your man.
Yes.
And how I know this is, again, I'm a trainer, and I know that relationships can be difficult because a lot of them are built on going out to dinner, going out for drinks, and you really have to have a supportive partner to do what you did.
Yeah.
So, is that part of the reason why you needed to kind of give him a break?
Yes. Oh my God, 100%. Yeah, he was a huge advocate for the break as well. Because, of course, I mean, really, my whole relationship with him, I had been in show mode.
Oh, wow.
To be fair, it wasn't until after we got married that I really took a break. Even leading up to the wedding, I'm like, just one more show. And he's like, you can. I was like, okay, just last one, I promise. So it was
sounds
hard.
Like she is a junkie.
She's definitely a junkie.
So it was.
Once she said she was kind of addicted to it, she entered junkie status.
Yes, definitely. Yeah. Well, and
first step is admitting you have a problem.
I'm ready. But it really was hard on the family, on him especially, because he wants to go enjoy drinks with me, wants to go out to eat. When we go out to eat, it's always like, try this. Well, no, I can't try that.
Grilled chicken breast with broccoli, please. No butter.
Yes, and please cook it, steam it instead of, on the grill, and no oil. If you could do as little oil as possible. And even then, as I'm eating it, I'm like, it's kind of oily right now. I don't miss that aspect of it. I would even bring my own seasoning and salad dressing and all that weirdness. They don't have sugar-free ketchup at the normal places, so I bring my own, just weird stuff like that. Girl. Yeah, I took it to that level. It's funny. We went to, I think it was Brio. It's an Italian restaurant over. Yeah, so I had white rice on my menu to eat, and I was like, well, I can order, a fish from Brio, no big deal. But they didn't have white rice, so I brought my own white rice because I looked on the menu ahead of time. I was like, so I pulled it out of my bag. I pulled it out of my bag, and he's looking at me like,
you gotta be kidding me.
I cannot believe this right now. And I was like, they don't have white rice. It's not like I would ask for it and I would pay for it, but they don't have it, so I'm not doing anything like crazy,
That's right.
I don't know what to say, but yeah, I was that extreme. So,
well, I tell my clients, it's like, the people that you envy, the bodies that you envy, these are the things they do to get there.
Oh my gosh, yes.
He's one of my clients.
He's amazing. I've lost 17 pounds in
awesome.
A little over a month, roughly.
That is awesome.
And, eating right, and I had a piece of pizza earlier, and I felt guilty.
Yeah, that's the hard part about it too, and that's part of like that whole mental. Even for competitors, it's like you feel your whole relationship with food changes. I can't go to Starbucks and order a scone anymore because I looked at the nutritional facts on their website, and I'm like, well, there just goes all my carbs for the day.
Right.
I can't eat anything now.
Right.
It's all protein. It's just not realistic.
Right.
So, no, I mean, like, Now I'm just aware. I still track my macros. I still make sure I eat a balanced diet and I'm not going overboard because I've taken it after I stopped doing shows. I just was like, forget it. I'm going to go all out. I'm just going to eat what I want. I'm not going to work. I didn't work out for like 3 months.
Wow.
Because I was sick of it. I used to love going to the gym. I used to love coming up with new routines, new moves, trying to use the machines the way they weren't supposed to be used to like hit the muscle in a different way. Yeah, I was like that weird girl doing it.
I see
you
those
see it
in the
all
gym
over
every once in a
Instagram now.
while.
Yeah.
And I was like, does she not know or is she advanced? Like sometimes I can't tell. It happened the other day. I couldn't tell. I was like,
gosh, yeah.
That's not how that machine is
right, and then
supposed to
I
work.
hate to like say it like I judge you off of your body, like, you know, so I was like, no, I think she just doesn't know. But I've seen some people
Fit
like
girls do.
Yeah.
Right, and I'm always like, wow, I never would have thought of that. Like, I never would have thought of that.
There's Instagram, man. It's changed lives.
Oh my God.
But the problem with that is then you see these like crazy ways of doing it, and then I'll see it and I'm like, oh, I've never thought of that. I'm gonna try that. But then it's like, okay, is it gonna work for me? Am I really gonna be able to do it? And I'll try it. And it's that awkward, like, okay, I don't think this is right. I don't feel it where I'm supposed to feel it, so I'm gonna like cut that one out. So
you just got certified, right? Recently?
Yeah, I just got my NASM.
So this is one of the problems I have a lot of times is like the science of how the muscles work.
Yes.
And then sometimes what these girls, maybe even you, do in the gym doesn't equate. But sometimes it works.
Yeah.
And that's the weird thing. Like,
it really comes down to like that mind muscle connection and do they feel it where they're meant to feel it? Because there are some machines I can't get it to work for me. I have a really long torso, so I can't do certain lifts and get it to activate a certain muscle just because I'm not built that way. And some people, I can't remember what it was. Maybe it was like the Jefferson squat where you like have the bar in between your legs. And I know my arms are so short. I couldn't even try. I couldn't. I was like, all right, I have to have straps that lets my arms be longer than what they really are. Or I just scratch that one. That one doesn't work for me. But some of it could work. And sometimes you don't really know if they're activating it or not. It could look totally awkward and be like, that's not working for you, girl. But maybe they're feeling it. So, and sometimes it doesn't really even have to be like a heavy movement. It could just be that they're activating a muscle they don't normally activate. So it works. But I don't know. Like, honestly, I just go off of feeling when I go in there. I'm like, okay, what's free? First of all, what machine is free? And what am I trying to focus on today?
Do you really do it like that? Because I always feel guilty when I go in with a plan and I bail out because I'm like, fuck this place. It's too crowded.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, what's open? We'll just do whatever.
Yeah. I teach like intuitive training. Like, go in feeling what you feel needs to work. Find out which machines are open that work those body parts. And
I'll bail out even on body part though. Like if it's just
everybody's
like, all right,
everybody's at the racks
today, or whatever, you know.
And do another body part that you did the day before.
Maybe not the day before, but just
something else.
Not what I planned on.
Yeah.
You know, just because it's like I don't want to fight it. You know?
Right. That works. You know?
If I go in with a plan, it's nice because, okay, this is what I envisioned, and then I can go and I can challenge myself. More often than not, everything I want to do is not available in the order I want to do it, or it's just not available.
I'm doing a superset.
Yeah. So, especially when the gym is crowded, I'm like, all right. So I don't go in with a plan. I have an idea of what I want to work, and then crazy enough, like some days I'll go and be like, yeah, I'm gonna just go ham. I'm gonna crush it, go heavy all the way, and I get there and I do like 3 reps, and I'm like, oh my gosh, all right, we're just gonna do like high reps today. We're just gonna keep it right there. And some days I'm exhausted, like, oh, I don't even know. It's gonna be like whatever. I'm showing up just to show up, and it's my best lift day ever, you know. So I try to be intuitive. I try to have a plan, but in general, I think just being able to be flexible and make the most of it, period.
Do you subscribe to something is better than nothing workout?
Yeah. Yeah. I do. Because, even at home, like I have I have a squat rack at home. I have like a
Nice.
hyper extension bench. I have, the decline crunch bench. I have my Bowflex adjustable weight system. I have a treadmill, a bike, an elliptical. Like I have so much.
Nice.
I don't even use it anymore because that's where I lived. I was always working out. So my husband's like, you need a gym because you're
Nice.
never home.
Right.
So that kind of was my little area for a while. But now I feed off the energy around other people.
Yeah.
So I kind of have to take it for what it is. Like if I go home now and try and work out at home, I'm like tired. I'm like, all right, I'll do it later, and then I won't do it. So I'd make myself go. Even if I'm tired, I'll try and push a little bit. I'll make sure I do a little something to kind of, all right. And then usually once I start, I'm like going more and more and more.
Yep.
And I'm like, okay,
Yep.
but if I do it at home, I'm definitely just doing it for the sake of something's better than nothing.
Right.
So,
Right. So I started this with one of my other guests. It's the rapid fire
yes. Okay.
section.
Okay.
I'm going to ask you some questions, rapid fire, and then you're going to say which one that you lean towards, and then I'll ask you to kind of elaborate on that.
Right.
All
Okay.
right?
Okay.
All right. So here we go. Nice guys or bad boys?
Oh. Younger days, I would have said bad boys, but I've learned my lesson. I prefer nice guys with maybe a little bad boy edge.
Wait, is your husband a bad boy or a nice guy?
He is a nice guy.
Aw,
Yeah,
good.
he is a
Is
nice
he a
guy.
reformed bad boy?
I would say that.
You
Yeah,
would?
I would. Yes,
You
I
would?
do. I would. 100%.
Reformed meaning bad boy when you met him, now a nice guy, or
No, he was a nice guy when I met him. He was very sweet, very nice, kind of like a teddy bear. But like as the years went by and I got to know him, I'm like, you're a bully. Like you're kind of like look at you.
You're a bully.
He's English. So
Really?
so he has like a very blunt personality. He's just like, I tell you how it is. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. What do you want me to do? Like he sets the expectations, and if that's not the expectation, he's gonna let you know. So I mean, and part of that might just be his personality. Yeah, I do think he was mischievous in his younger days. Just my hunch tells me that.
Okay. Protein or veggies?
Protein all the way.
Nice.
Yeah, I love protein.
Amen to that.
Yes.
Twist my arm.
Yeah.
Sex sells or sexy but classy?
Sexy but classy.
Yes.
Yeah, 100%.
What do you feel about the trend now with the Instagram girls going to more of the sex sells side of things? And do you see the value in that?
It's a slippery slope. I think okay, so I'll just take like the whole Super Bowl presentation with J-Lo and Shakira, right? So there was a lot of, oh my God, what were they wearing? She's on a pole, whatever. They're women with children who are strong women who presented themselves in a sexual manner per se, but it was not like I don't know what I'm allowed to say.
No, you can let it fly. It's fine.
Okay. It's not like a come fuck me kind of thing. It was more of a like, I'm a sexual being. I own it. I have control of it. And you know what? If you don't like it, don't watch.
Right.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with being a woman. There's a power to it. Embrace that power. I think that's beautiful. That's strong, and women should be able to do that.
100%.
There's nothing wrong with that. Now, there's a difference though when you put yourself out there and you're like, all about, oh yeah, look at me. I know you want this. There's just something to me personally. That's not how I would want to present myself. I have pictures of myself where, like I'm in a bikini, very little clothes. I'm not ever going to put a face on me where it's like, oh, come over here, big boy kind of thing. It's more of a, I've worked hard for my body. I love the fact that I look this way. I'm owning it. I'm proud of it. That's one way to present yourself, not where you're like, oh, the sex sells. Yeah, you want this protein powder. Like, come on, it's so sexy. Let me wear little to nothing to get you to buy it or whatever, or to have followers. And then all of a sudden, the only reason people want to follow you is because you're hot. And then what happens when your hotness goes away?
Right.
Because it's not going to stay forever. Let's be real. Like, you can put as much Botox and do as much plastic surgery, but at the end of the day, you're going to get old like everybody else.
Yeah.
So intrinsically, at
that
your
happened
core,
to me. I used to post pictures because I was hot, and then I realized one day on a post, like on a throwback Thursday, like, wow, I was like, my hotness went away.
12 likes.
Yeah.
What happened?
So
likes
I
went
had that
away.
moment of clarity.
I mean, and I do think that there's definitely like a lot of girls who see the fact that they're getting so many likes off of like a sexier picture. Like, I post a picture of me in a bikini and, I look great in that picture. The likes are way, way, way more than if I were to post a picture of me in like just my clothes. Yeah, me and my husband, definitely, right?
Everyone likes you, get unfollows.
Right?
Yeah.
It's like, or just like any guy in general, me and my dad, me and my kids,
But see, your Instagram, it's kind of like your social media face.
Right.
It's different from your family stuff.
Yes.
And I think you can kind of have a little bit more expression in that, and you really don't want to sell your family on that. It's two different things.
Yes, very true.
Okay.
Yeah, very true.
Yeah.
It's hard because it's like people want to know more about you. They want to get to know you personally, and that's personally I struggle with that because I want to be able to share things that like are important to me as just a person, as a mom, or just something I have an interest in, but I feel like I can't share those things because I'm not going to get likes.
Right. They want to see you in the new bikini.
Yeah,
on the beach
they don't care about that stuff. They care about what do I look like now and how hot am I and those sort of things. So it is hard because you want to separate. So I guess you kind of have to decide, what do you want your page to be about? And mine's like, I know some people like delete all their pictures and start all over again. Like, I haven't deleted, a whole like set of pictures per se. Like, you can go all the way back to my very first Instagram picture. It's still there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I didn't know what it was about. It was like a picture of a stuffed shark. Like, I just or something like that, a stuffed animal, and then you can see as it progressed over the years. But for a while, it was when I was super focused on bodybuilding, it was about promoting me as an athlete. I did a lot of exercise videos and like edited the videos and posted them. That's so time consuming though. Like, I just don't have time for that anymore. I wish I could, but it took me like a good 2 days to edit a video and I don't have like someone to follow me around to videotape my workouts. So I was literally setting up my camera, record it, look at it. Not the angle I want. Okay, re-record. So I got a workout just filming a video. It was literally my workout. Right. Because I couldn't really get it any other way. And so it is a full-time job. So if you want to be an influencer and make that your focus, you have to figure out, how do you want to represent yourself? At the end of the day, I have kids. I don't want my kids going online and being like, oh, my mom's a whore. Like, I don't want that to be their thought process, because they're at the age now where they do have friends who are young boys who are like, your mom's hot. And they're like, don't say that. It's my mom. Like, why are you saying that? And I'm sure they all have, access to Instagram or access to whatever now. And it's like, I got to be conscious of that.
Sure.
I can't make it weird for them. So
health or looks?
Health. Always health.
Good. The club or Netflix and chill?
There's a right and wrong answer with these? You can say, no, you're right.
Well, he said good.
I agree.
Good, yeah.
I agree.
Good. He agrees. That's his. That's his MO. Nowadays, Netflix and chill majority, but I like to dance. I like to have fun. I like to cut loose, so
Hip hop or like EDM?
hip hop. I'm old school. I'm
Okay.
not into that like EDM stuff too much. You could blend it up a bit, but I mean, I think I went to, it was one of the clubs in Vegas when I was new to Vegas, and it was like a weekend of EDM after EDM after EDM. So finally, my friends and I went to Dre's, and they're like, oh, we'll get you this great table, like next to blah, 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 some EDM DJ. I'm like, can we go to the hip hop room? We all wanted to go to the hip hop room. We're like, we're so tired of that music. Like, all I want to hear is some good old school hip hop, whatever it is. So, yeah, if I really want to get moving, it's going to be hip hop for me. So,
Political or apathetic?
These are big words at 21 hours.
like what?
Just kidding.
I personally am a little more apathetic.
Oh, here's the.
But
king
I'm
of
all
it,
about.
right here.
Yeah, that's definitely my answer.
You're like, right.
Yeah, 100%.
You try to find a balance. So.
Okay. A few close friends or lots of acquaintances?
I am a few close friends. I used to have lots of acquaintances, but as I've gotten older, I found that having a few close friends is definitely more important than having a lot of acquaintances. And it's interesting because Vegas is more about acquaintances for sure. So.
You brought it up, so I can't help myself. And I'm punchy at this point. Our friend Banker George has a friend. His name is Nick Day. And Nick Day is like a college jock turned financial planner or whatever.
Right.
But
Okay.
on the weekends, the college jock always comes out of him, and he maybe drinks too much.
Yeah.
And he has like after hours. So he'll bring people to his house,
Mm-hmm.
and then out of that group of people, he will decide to trim it down to even less people still at the house.
Okay.
So he'll literally go, okay, so I'm gonna point out we need to trim this room down.
Oh my gosh.
So
No way.
I'm gonna go around the room, and if I say you're a friend, you stay. If I say you're acquaintance, you gotta go. So he'll literally go around and he'll be like, friend, acquaintance,
Oh my
acquaintance,
goodness.
acquaintance. Friend, acquaintance.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he's like, all right, all acquaintances out. And
Have
like,
you been there?
That's
no, but George tells me the story. It just
Oh
makes me
my
laugh every time.
God.
But every time I hear the word acquaintance, I think
That's
of Nick
what you
Day.
would think
Yeah,
of. Yeah.
going,
That's-
acquaintance.
That's
That's
next
taking it
level.
That's just
back to,
gangster. I love it.
like elementary school when you're being picked for dodgeball
Right.
or something. It's like, am I
Right.
gonna get picked next?
And there's people that think like when he first makes that announcement, like,
Yeah.
oh well, I'm all right because I'm
Oh,
definitely a
yeah,
friend.
when
And then
they
he
don't
looks at
get
you and he's
picked,
like,
they're like-
acquaintance, and you're like, fuck. Yeah,
Why?
Outta
Yeah.
here.
I can't believe I didn't start any fights or anything.
Right?
Yeah.
yeah.
Porsche or Camry?
Mm.
I would love a Porsche
Mhm.
if I can afford it. But if it's not within my means of living, Camry.
Is there a specific Porsche when he says that? Like,
No, I just like nice things. So if
Right.
it's pretty. I usually
gotcha.
pick the most expensive thing, most.
yeah.
Unfortunately.
No, yeah, sure.
Which rolls into my next question, which you kind of already answered. Material possessions or happiness?
Happiness. I mean, material possessions are nice. And just personal experience. I like nice things. I have expensive taste. I know I do. But I also feel like there is no point living your life if you cannot maintain those levels of living. If you are not comfortable and stress-free and things just kind of flow the way they need to flow, then you're going to be miserable trying to hold on to those material things. Life is going to be a ball of stress, period, because these material things almost become like your status, like what tells you, kind of like, competing for the wrong reasons. Like you feel like it makes you who you are. And at the end of the day, like I can go to Ross and buy an outfit from Ross and everyone's like, oh my God, I love your outfit. It's so amazing. Well, thank you. I got it at Ross. I will tell people if I get it at Ross. I love
Right.
to bargain shop. I mean, I know what quality is. I can find good quality for, a lower price. I
I'm
worked
all
retail.
about
I
a
know how
Ross.
much they upcharge,
Right.
like 200%. You get those
All
designer
about a Ross
jeans.
run.
And they're like, you can get them at the stores now for like $60, which is still kind of expensive. I used to work at Macy's, and when they would mark down all their designer jeans, I would get them for like $15
Wow.
because they mark it up that much. I probably shouldn't say that, right?
No,
No.
it's okay.
Like, I'm not allowed to say that.
Yeah, it's
But
all
yeah, it's crazy. So that kind of changed my whole mentality on nice things. It's like I know I can get it for cheaper. It's not a big deal.
So, other than your new gym and your new coaching thing, what
Mhm.
else are you focusing on the horizon?
Right now, it's honestly just kind of trying a good balance of work, family, health. I think because it was so much about competing and family, the first couple of years here in Vegas, I knew absolutely no one. I don't talk to people when I go to the gym. I'm very like, headphones on, hat, don't look at me. I'll be nice. If I was like, are you using that? No, go for it. Or we can work in or whatever it is. But at the end of the day, I was just very there to do one thing and one thing only, and that was it. And then it was like, make sure I'm home so that I'm there for my kids so that they're not, screwing off after school or they're doing their homework like they're supposed to be doing. Whatever it was, it was one of those, that's what my priorities are. So now that I have more free time, and I'm kind of back in to what I'm passionate about, which is still the health industry, because I did try to do a desk job, go back to my roots. I did HR years ago. I tried to do that for 6 months, and it was like a slow death. I just couldn't do it. And I was like, I need to figure out something else. So that's why I was like, all right, I can always get a job at a gym. I'll do personal training. I'll find something. And, the whole Orange Theory thing just kind of, I guess, in a sense, fell into my lap. I applied for the job, but I wasn't expecting to get the job so quickly. So it just all kind of happened right after I left that other job. So right now, just trying to grasp the whole schedule thing. So things pop up, like my whole coaches meeting, which is why I was late. I'm sorry. Attendance is very important to me. So I was like, oh, shit. But work, kids, just trying to make sure I am still there for them, because that was the hardest thing, working a Monday through Friday, like 8 to 5. I wasn't able to be there when they came home from after school. So they would goof off for like 2 hours until I came home. And then I got to make sure I cook dinner and get them ready and hound on them for another 2 hours until they get their work done, and then send them to bed. And that just kind of became a redundant nightmare. So this now is just a better fit for me. Figuring out how to allow myself to be normal, if that makes sense.
Sure.
After being a junkie, I'm trying to go through rehab. So.
Good luck.
Thank you. I'm working on it. Still in the fitness industry. So, I'm passionate about it. So it's hard for me to break ties there. I probably won't ever do that. But at least it's in a healthier fashion. Better relationship. Yeah.
You have anything else?
No, I think that was a good little chat.
Yes.
Awesome.
He's like, do I get to go to sleep now?
I'm so tired.
He doesn't get to go.
So is the next, after 24 hours of this, is it like a 24-hour sleep recovery?
Yeah, for sure.
No, we're going to the fight tomorrow night, so he doesn't get 24.
That's 24 hours.
Oh, it is from 8.
Basically.
Kind of.
As we cut it right now, it is.
Yeah, you're holding him to it.
I mean, we've had some the problem is we've had some cancellations, so it's like, I just feel like we need to, it's not even worth.
There's no way to stretch it, really.
It's hard.
I think you should have the last guest and then just be done with it.
Meaning done with it now? Or one more guest?
You want me to call Dad?
Yeah, I think we should.
Less than 4 hours.
You can do it.
I can't do it.
The
I'm
light
out.
is at the end of the tunnel. Just
Yeah, but the problem is it's an oncoming train right now. That's the
bright
problem.
light.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I totally understand that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's got to be one of those. You got to show up to continue on.
Right.
See, he blew it. He did a pilot error. He tried to stay.
Schedule a 24-hour podcast. Yep.
Well, no. And then he tried to stay up all night so he could sleep all
I didn't
day.
mean to do that.
Man.
And then he didn't go to sleep.
Oh,
He couldn't sleep. So
I
he's-
tried, yeah.
He's really been up like
More than
40
20,
hours
yeah.
now. Or
Ooh, rough.
Oh, for sure.
40 hours. If you make it to 24, 15 plus
Yeah, I mean,
16. Dumb.
I got up at literally 9:30, realistically,
On Thursday.
on Thursday.
And haven't been to sleep since.
I might have
Oof.
taken a 30-minute nap around 1 in the afternoon Thursday.
Yeah.
Oh, and when I say I got up at 9:30 Thursday, I went to bed at 7 Thursday morning.
Okay.
Went to bed at 7 Thursday morning.
So like 2 hours.
Woke up at
Yeah.
9:30.
He's
Yeah.
not the sharpest tool in the shed. He's really funny, but...
Well, I thought it would... the problem was I couldn't sleep.
Yeah, that's...
I didn't,
What did I say? How are you going to guarantee your sleep?
I didn't think it would be hard because I figured, well, if I'm up all night on Wednesday...
Melatonin? No.
This is information I could have used on Wednesday. Yeah.
Yeah, that's...
So,
You're looking forward to the end then. I get that.
yeah.
Well, thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you.
showing up.
I appreciate
Yeah.
you having me here and chatting with me. It was
for
fun.
sure. It was great.